Hi, it's Sunday. Yeah, I just forgot. I think it was Wednesday that I stopped doing it, which is just bad. I'm sorry. That is my bad thing. Just before I did this, I went to pick up my keys. I don't know why I was picking up my keys. Up until the point where I nearly put it in my mouth. I went to eat my key. It's metal. The thing that stopped me from eating my key was my mum actually coming downstairs to say goodnight, and that's when I stopped because then I realised that putting metal in my mouth and biting down metal isn't a good idea. I still want to try it though and see what would happen. I know what would happen, but I wanted to bite the metal. I don't know what that says about me, but I thought that was interesting, and I don't know why, but I felt like you should know that. Anyway, yeah, sermon happened today. It was a good sermon. We're doing Genesis series. Basically, church has this thing where I'm going through the 3 parts of Genesis, and we've been doing that for the past 3 years. Well, this is the 3rd year, and so we're on the 3rd part of Genesis. Also, it was my church's 4th birthday, which is fun. It means I've been going for over 4 years, which is just like, where does time go? But yeah, basically they're getting into that, so they've started that again, and that's fun. And they start off with the genealogy, and genealogies are fun. At least they're supposed to be fun. Jewish people probably understand them a lot more on why they're cool, and I haven't actually done enough research to understand exactly why they're so cool. But I think they're awesome. Like, it's cool. But yeah, genealogies are fun. It also started off with a story of like, is this I actually know how to say I don't, and Jacob, which is an interesting story that is just like bizarre, and I never know what to think of it, like ever. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So let's get into that. But yeah, that was basically church. So let's get in. We're on to chapter 9, Matthew, chapter 9. Let's do this. I am zoning out way too much. Jesus heals a para- Jesus heals a para- Jesus heals a paraplegic. And getting into a boat, he crosses over and came into his own city. And behold, some people brought him to the paraplegic, lying on a bed. And when Jesus saw their faith, he said to the paraplegic, "Take heart, my son, your sins are forgiven." And behold, some of the scribes said to themselves, "This man is blasphemizing. Blasphemizing? I swear I'm normally better at pronouncing. I know how to say that. I can't say it. Blasphemy. Blasphemy? Blastizing. Blasphemy. Yeah, that's correct. But Jesus, knowing their thoughts, said, "Why do you think evil in your hearts? For which is it easier to say, 'Your sins are forgiven,' or say, 'Rise and walk'? But you may know that the Son of Man has authority on earth to forgive sins." And he said to the paraplegic, "Rise and pick up your bed and go home." And he rose and went home. And the crowd saw it, and they were afraid. And they glorified God who had given such authority to man. He didn't give authority to man, he gave authority to himself, who is Jesus, who is God. But anyway, he also gives authority to man. Kind of not that much power, but like, we can heal people. It has happened. Not all the time, but it can happen sometimes. Hopefully, all the time. It would be nice if it happened more. But honestly, I sometimes don't fully believe, so I don't doubt I'll ever be able to do it because I've heard stories of it, but I'm still kind of a skeptic. God help me in my unbelief. Anyway, Jesus calls Matthew. As Jesus passed from there, he saw a man called Matthew sitting in a tax booth, and he said to him, "Follow me." And he rose and followed him. And as Jesus reclined at the table in the house, behold, many tax collectors and sinners came and were reclining with Jesus and his disciples. And when the Pharisees saw this, they said to his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" But when he heard it, he said, "Those who are well have no need for a physician, but those who are sick. Go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. I came not to call the righteous, but the sinners." A question about fasting. When the disciples of John came to him, saying, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast, but you and the disciples do not fast?" Jesus said to them, "Can a wedding guest mourn as long as the bride and groom is with them? A day will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and they will fast. No one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch tears away from the garment, and a worse tear is made. Neither is new wine put into old wineskin. If it is, the skins burst, and the wine is spilled, and the skins are destroyed. But new wine is put into fresh wineskins, and so both are preserved. A girl restored to life, and a woman healed. While he was saying these things to him, behold, a ruler came in and knelt before him, saying, My daughter has just died, and lay your hand on her, and she will live. And Jesus rose and followed him with his disciples. And behold, a woman who had suffered from discharge of blood for 12 years came behind him and touched the fringe of his garment. And she said to herself, If I only touch his garment, I will be made well. And Jesus turned, seeing her, and said, Take heart, my daughter, your faith has made you well. And instantly the woman was made well. And when Jesus came to the ruler's house and saw the flute players and the crowd making merry, he said, Go away, for the girl was not dead, but sleeping. And they laughed at him. But when the crowd had been put outside, he went in and took her by the hand, and the girl arose. And the report of this went all through the district. Other versions of this, I've heard people like rebuke him for stopping and talking to the woman and healing her. And he's, but like, because they're like, but in time my daughter will die if you do not come soon. And then they're like, she did die. And he's like, who cares? I can just raise her. I can raise the dead. Who cares? Like, we're doing this on my own instead. We're gonna hail this lady first, whose belief was so great, she literally only needed to touch my foot to be healed. Because, like, yeah, she's awesome. Yeah, that girl, awesome. Also, like, constantly on your period for, like, 12 years, that is unfortunate. Like, really unfortunate. That, I can only hope she wasn't cramping as well. Because, yeah, not fun. Also, probably very anemic. Like, Let's hope her mental. Yeah, that is not good. Not good at all. That just heals. And anyone else going through that, I am sorry for you. And I am praying for you. Hopefully. I don't know. I hope it's not a thing anymore. That better not be a thing anymore. That sounds like a bad thing. I'm praying about that. That's bad. That's not good. A lot of things are not good in this world. It's been a year since the Iraq invasion. That is not fun to think about. I said Iraq. I meant Ukraine. I was thinking the word Ukraine. I said the wrong thing. I said the wrong thing. Anyway, yeah, Ukraine is... Like, let's just be thankful of that Prime Minister. Really popular, and everyone knew his name, and I've forgotten his name. Anyway, he's a great minister, because, like, not months earlier, I think it was either Afghanistan or Iraq, where the soldiers had just been pulled out of, and it was probably Iraq, and then the Taliban, maybe it wasn't even the Taliban, or was it ISIS? I don't know. Country in the Middle East basically just folded immediately when it was attacked by governments, and things aren't going well. It was probably the Taliban. I think it was the Taliban. Schools were banned and stuff, and it was not fun, and it was not good. And no one was surprised that happened, because I was like, wait, why are they surprised? Then why did they take the people out? And it was like, because the person didn't want to fight. And I think what happened in Ukraine is a perfect example of why the people in Iraq lost, is because the people in Ukraine actually wanted to fight and defend their nation, and the people there didn't. They just wanted to escape. And I think that's a really sad thing, because it shows that if people actually cared and gave a shit, things could have been stopped, because people knew the attack was going to happen well before it happened. And they had two choices. They could have stood and fight, and they might not have. And they chose their answer. They chose their answer full well before the whole entire thing happened. And I think that's a sad thing, whereas Ukraine decided to stand strong and always do the right thing. And that I think we should really admire, because, yeah. Pray for the people in Ukraine. Pray for those in Russia who disagree with Ukraine's invasion. Pray that Putin goes and dies in a hole, and his replacement isn't an asshole. Pray that the world is a better place. Anyway, we should probably continue reading this, but that was just... I felt that was more important in this moment. But yeah. Anyway, Jesus heals 2 blind men. And as Jesus passed on from there, 2 blind men followed him, crying aloud, "Have mercy on us, son of David." And when he entered the house, the blind men came to him. And Jesus said to him, "Do you believe that I am able to do this?" And they said to him, "Yes, Lord." And then he touched their eyes, saying, "According to your faith be it done to you." And their eyes were opened. And Jesus sternly warned them, "See that no one knows about it." But they went away and spread his fame through the district. Why do people keep doing this? Like, Jesus is like, don't tell anyone. Please don't tell anyone. Like, you don't have to tell anyone. Just don't tell them. And they're like, fuck that, I'm going to tell everyone. I can see, and this guy did it. It's just, I find that weird. And he said not to tell you guys. Like, is it some big secret? And it's like, yeah, kind of. The Pharisees did not like it at all. Shame on them. Anyway, Jesus heals a man unable to speak. As they were going away, behold, a demon-oppressed man who was mute was brought to him. And when the demon had been cast out, the mute man spoke, and the crowd marveled, saying, "Never was anything like this seen in Israel." And the Pharisees said, "He casts out demons by the prince of demons." It says by the prince of demons. He casts out demons. He must be the prince of demons. Yes, because the prince of demons totally doesn't want demons in people. Logical sense is logical. Not that that second part was sarcasm. Obviously, God's God and God can order demons around. That is obviously what this is saying. Anyway, the harvest is plentiful, the laborers few. And Jesus went throughout the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, healing every disease and every affliction. And when he saw the crowds, he had compassion. He had compassion for them because they were harassed and helpless like sheep without a shepherd. And when he said to the disciples, "The harvest is plentiful, but the laborers few. Therefore pray earnestly to the Lord for the harvest to be sent out, to send out laborers into his harvest." Basically saying, pray that you would be able to be leaders of this new church that's going to form upon my death. That is a weird sentence to say. In church today, they were praying for people who thought they wanted to be like in ministry and stuff. And technically, I suppose this is a ministry, but I didn't put out my hand to be prayed over. Well, I did kind of half put up, and then I prayed for someone else. Mainly because I didn't think anyone was going to pray over me. I don't know why I'm sharing that with you. But yeah. This has been fun. I think like in a month. It's March currently. In about a month, we're about a month away from me be doing this for a year, which is fun and scary. I haven't posted nearly as much as I thought I would. Hopefully that's getting better, because like I would like to. Well, actually no, that's a lie. I think I've posted more than I thought I would. Because originally it was just gonna be a video a week, and I've stuck to that more. So there's more videos than I thought there would be, but there's definitely not been enough as I got gone through. If that makes sense. So yeah, we're just gonna keep going at it. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow. And yeah, bye.